Well, thank you once again.
Thank
For
you. You're
being
welcome.
here today. My first question: what was going through your mind when the judge dismissed this case yesterday?
That's a range of emotions, a range of feelings. I felt very blessed. I was very grateful that the judge took the opportunity and time to review all the information. That was huge. And his rendering, I understand, was a powerful one, but it was one that was just. And I'm very grateful for that.
After everything, nearly 10 years of this, how are you feeling right now as you're speaking to me?
Emancipated. There's a lot of restrictions, a lot of emotional things as a father, as a man, as a widower. There's a lot of a range of emotions thank God for specific families, and the community, and the support, role models. There's a lot more good people out there than you normally see on TV, but I can tell you that I'm very blessed.
Now, I know we were saying earlier this is kind of a broad question, so answer it the best you can,
Sure.
and you can go for as long as you need to or as short as you want to, whatever you're comfortable with.
Sure.
What has this experience done to your day to day life in the past 10 years, your family, your identity?
Um, I've always been a very active member in the community, whether it's through youth or through my businesses. I was very charitable, and very involved. The business that my family had and that I had was one that the community, you have a lot of respect for your jeweler. It says a lot about a person's moral character for them to trust, okay? So as far as a man, the respect of my community just got wiped out just by, at one time. At the same time, I lost my wife. People don't, it's been 10 years and I've been fighting for my life, for my daughters. Nobody ever asked me about my daughter Bishop. To be taken away from my daughter Bishop, my mother-in-law. These are, I'm sorry for the loss of my father-in-law. God bless him. But these people were very close and always will be. Outside of what many people may perceive, I lost my mother. From that aspect, in the past 10 years, that's a whole nother parameter. As far as a man in my business and what I do, you're limited. You're limited by an anklet, by being able, to have to respond to all these. I've never been in a nobody. I don't think anybody could ever imagine the magnitude and the mental fortitude just to keep fighting. It was coming to yesterday. Your brain becomes almost trained to defend itself. When your life's on the line and you're looking down at your daughter for over half of her life, I don't think people even realize at 20 years old, 10 years old, that's the things that she was denied, that we were denied. Father-daughter activities, I can't do those. I can't go swimming in the ocean, or I can't go swimming anywhere to wear shorts, or, they may seem little. Try it every day for 10 years. Or go to bed and have to plug into something, into a wall, which now I have neuropathy from. That's not going to go away with somebody recognizing that for 10 years, none of the facts were ever fully disclosed. So there's a lot of effects it has, but I'm going to tell you, I am very blessed to even be able to have a conversation about it today. I'm very blessed that my daughter, as well as I think anybody could acclimate, she's doing the best she can. Our lives have to go on. And I can't live in the past. I can only hope for a better future. And that's what anybody should want to do. And here again, to be able to hear and have a conversation just with anybody is a blessing.
Do you feel like your side of the story was ever truly heard?
my side of the story was never heard at all. The narrative that has been portrayed on any type of media across the board, whether it's paper, whether it's, there's so many types of media now, I don't even know them all. You know, I've never had a Facebook page. People that are close to me know how to get in touch with me. Maybe I'm old school, maybe it's whatever, but I'm not anti-technology. I just never had a Facebook page. I'm not into that. I like to read, and I like to do things with my daughter or with other positive things. There's so many different things to expound upon.
Expanding a little bit more, how do you think this process changed the way people see you? I'm not just talking about people who hear about you on the news and social media, people close to you as well.
The people that know me, that have actually met me, people may say they know me, or I may have met them, but to know me, they're there all around. Do they feel comfortable going into a public setting where of the magnitude of the Attorney General's office and the charges? It's so absurd, period, that they don't feel comfortable in that environment. And some people just aren't comfortable like that. But the support has been there. How do I repeat that question one more time as far as the...
Yeah, of course. How do you think this process has changed the way people see you?
I answer to people that know me. The perception that people perceive me from what has been portrayed, I can't control. But I have a feeling if they absolutely understood or cared to understand, I think that it would be different. I can't change people's minds. That's not my intention. But I can't control what other people think. I can only be the person I am.
With this new evidence being presented, what do you say to people who still believe you're responsible?
I can't answer that question. My only logical statement would be is that they obviously are not aware of all the facts. I love my wife. She was my soulmate. I lost my wife. I wish people would take a second to understand the magnitude of what I just said. I lost my wife. To be turned around and charged for whatever I was, it's absurd. Maybe for other people, it may not be, but for me, it's not my moral character. I love my wife probably more than I love myself. And that's a very, very difficult thing to deal with, losing your wife. The other aspect of it is incomprehensible to me, so I don't know how to even describe it. If somebody is not built like me or can love like me, I felt it's very different to give a perception to someone else or anybody else, because each individual is different. But I could tell you, I lost a lot that people don't realize, way more than, and so many other people. When somebody passes in any family, it affects more than one person, and it affects them all differently. But we all have one common variable, that we lost somebody that we both cared about, or all cared about.
Obviously, a lot of this for the past 10 years has been very difficult for you, and this may be a really tough question. What has been the hardest thing to live with, or to deal with, rather, for the past 10 years of all of this?
Repeat the question, because it's
Of course. What has been the hardest part of living under this accusation for 10 years?
okay, because the hardest part of living under this accusation, I lost a lot of family. I lost my wife, my mother. The hardest part is that I'm an innocent man. And for 10 years, for my daughter to, not to be able to go out and introduce her dad, or to walk into any public place, and whether one person they know or they think you know you, but obviously whether you recognize what they perceive is only what they have seen. And what I felt or feel that living under that narrative, that one image that they have, is so unjust, because you don't have a voice. You don't have to. It's not for me to try to explain to any. I don't have to explain myself. I lost my wife. I lost my mother, my daughters. Everybody's been. It's very difficult on so many different levels, but living under that accusation, which is a very light word for what you categorize. I'm proud of who I am, and I'm proud to be part of our general community, to be involved. To have a stigma like that attached to me unjustly is so wrong beyond words. So it's been very difficult on so many levels. But that kind of, on a short narrative, that probably gives you some idea.
Did you ever think this day the case being thrown out would ever actually come?
My faith in God, I know that outside of my innocence, there's a purpose for everybody. And for me to get up every day and to continue to strive, not just for my freedom, but to be a father, participant. That's very critical years in any, whether it's a male or female, son or daughter. I apologize, but I get so emotionally. So repeat it one more time, because I get caught in emotions, and I think I left off somewhere.
It's okay. You don't have to apologize. Emotions are human. We're trying to show the human side of you. So if you need to get emotional, please do. It's okay, and take all the time you need to answer these questions. I'm more than happy to repeat them as well.
Yeah, repeat that last one.
Did you ever think this day, throwing out the case, would actually come?
Yes. Outside of my faith in God, people don't realize my grandfather, one of the biggest role models to a boy, is his granddad. My grandfather was a judge in New Jersey. I call him Pop-Pop. I had a lot of respect. I didn't know he was a judge. He just did, I did as getting older. And my family up there was attorneys, and I always had faith, because I thought the legal system or judicial system was not like one of morals, and a judge recites the law. So I felt that once the facts would come true, that I had faith in the legal system.
And when you first learned that these facts came out and the state may have withheld this key evidence that we found out about a week ago today, what went through your mind in that moment?
A tremendous amount of relief. I mean, the information that was just given days before the trial, that is so critical on so many levels, and the fact that the coroner or other people that need this information to make a decision that they make on a daily basis, or however often that happens, it was critical that the information. How did I feel? Very relieved, because at least now the public can know. Being withheld for 10 years, it's unspeakable.
Are you afraid that this could still come back and you would have to go through all of this again?
I'm not afraid. No, I don't live in. The facts are the facts, and they won't change. My life is past, and I'm an innocent man. Whether accidental or anything, or suicide, I don't know, but I'm an innocent man of what they was charged with, and that is difficult on so many levels. As you asked before, how does it affect living under the accusation? Very difficult.
When people talk about this case years from now, and it's a high-profile case, it will be talked about. What do you hope they will remember, not about the case, but about you, Michael Colucci?
Yeah, probably. I hope that they can put themselves in my shoes. Someone that goes through a day every day, has a family, a tragedy happens. How would it? How would it? You understand? There's things that people can learn through trauma and tragedy, and there's things that from building from that make you aware of a lot more. I don't know if I'm articulating myself properly, but there's positives that can come from anything.
And my final question for you, you've said time and time you're an innocent man. Do you stand by your version of what happened in May of 2015?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I never did anything to harm my wife. Period. I love my wife. That I never did anything to harm my wife.